I was 30, working a stable job in finance, and everything I was told to chase: security, routine, and recognition. But beneath it all, I felt empty, like I was living someone else's dream. I often wondered what would happen if I walked away to pursue something bigger. How many of us dare to step away from the grind and follow what sets our souls on fire? In The Moon and Sixpence, William Somerset Maugham captures this very dilemma, the tension between stability and passion. The moon symbolizes our highest ideals, while the sixpence represents life's practical demands. So the real question is, will you reach for the moon or settle for the sixpence? I have heard of a story of a man who left everything behind to live alone by a lake. Some called it selfish. How could he abandon his family and responsibilities, while others saw it as inspiring? This contrast raises an important question. Why do some see freedom where others see recklessness? The Moon and Sixpence helped me understand, and today I want to share these insights so you can reflect on your own priorities and what it means to live without regret. The story of Charles Strickland. Charles Strickland was a London stockbroker with a steady income, a loving wife, and 2 children. He had it all: success, respect, and a happy family. Then, at 40, he left everything behind, moving to Paris with nothing but a short letter to his wife saying he wouldn't return. He took odd jobs to buy paint and lived in poverty, locking himself away to pursue his art, indifferent to hunger and hardship. To others, it was reckless, a midlife crisis with no promise of success, but Strickland didn't care. "I must paint. I can't do anything else," he said, comparing his passion to a drowning man's need for air. So who's the fool, him or the world? Many let fear and society's expectations trap them in lives they don't love, but some choose to chase their dreams, even at great risk. Is that foolish or brave? Carl Jung once said, "Most people will do anything to avoid facing their own soul." Strickland was one of the few who dared to confront his truth, no matter the cost. For Strickland, material possessions meant nothing. Some cling to wealth as if it's treasure, while others see it as disposable. In The Moon and Sixpence, the moon represents our highest ideals, the dreams that fuel our soul. The sixpence symbolizes the mundane necessities of life. We live in a world overflowing with sixpences. We chase financial security, social approval, and material comfort. We become slaves to the expectations of others, entangled in obligations and relationships that make us forget who we are. When you focus solely on the ground, searching for coins, you lose sight of the moon. Yet those who say, "Life is too short, I want to live my way," turn their quiet inner path into something vast and meaningful. If you think this message romanticizes recklessness, you've misunderstood it. As Schopenhauer said, the greatest prison is the human mind. Success looks different to everyone. Some seek prestige, while others crave peace. Your heart holds the answer. Even Strickland's wife, who was devastated by his departure, ultimately found her own strength. Left alone, she rebuilt her life from scratch, learning to type, selling her belongings, and eventually thriving as an independent woman. For her, success meant standing on her own, proving that true strength comes from within, not from someone else. Perception shapes priorities. Everyone's priorities are different. As long as you find joy and peace in what you do, there's no need to label choices as right or wrong. Your heart holds the answer. Strickland put art above all else, while his wife valued dignity and security. She worked hard to build a life of respect. After 17 years of marriage, their diverging perceptions pulled them apart. A philosopher once said, "I respect any independent soul, even if I don't agree with them. I try my best to understand them." Some chase the moon's glow, others the comfort of the sixpence. Their paths may never align, but mutual respect is key. You don't need to live by someone else's values or judge their choices, living true to your priorities. There is no universal rulebook for how we live. What matters most is facing your own soul and living authentically. That's the message Maud conveys in this story. In the novel, Strova, a struggling painter with an eye for genius, was the only one who understood Strickland's art. He sacrificed everything to help him, even taking Strickland in when he was gravely ill, despite his wife's objections. Ironically, though she despised Strickland, she was drawn to him. Caring for him turned into love. Strova was devastated, torn apart. Yet, out of love for his wife and admiration for Strickland's talent, he stepped aside and let them be together, hoping they would find happiness. But life rarely rewards such sacrifices. Strickland soon abandoned her too. To the world, Strickland seemed heartless, incapable of love, but the truth was simpler. His heart belonged entirely to art. He couldn't give himself to anyone. Struve, despite his pain, remained kind. Mocked for his selflessness, he continued to give without expecting anything in return, proving that true generosity is a quiet form of greatness. People saw Struve as foolish, but others recognized his nobility. Some live by giving freely, others focus solely on themselves. In life's harshness, there's always a place where your conscience can rest, a space where love and integrity remain. How you treat others ultimately reflects how you see the world. In the end, the Moon and Sixpence reminds us that life isn't meant to be confined to simple labels like success or failure, right or wrong. Each of us walks a different path, shaped by the quiet pull of our hearts, and no one else has the right to define what our journey should look like. Albert Camus once said, "You don't live to meet the expectations of others, and they don't live to meet yours." That's the heart of it, listening to your own soul even when the world doesn't understand. Whether you're reaching for the moon or holding the sixpence, the real success is living with a heart at peace. Vincent van Gogh once said, "Everyone has a fire inside them, but those who pass by only see the smoke." So don't live for the smoke, the fleeting opinions of others. Live for the fire, the passions, dreams, and truths that make you feel alive. Whether you look to the stars or keep your feet on solid ground, live in a way that makes you whole. Not every dream will come wrapped in applause. Strickland's story shows that chasing something meaningful can cost you, but it also frees you. It's not about living perfectly, it's about daring to live authentically. To you, to me, to all of us. I hope we choose lives that feel true, even if they're messy, unconventional, or misunderstood. And I hope we find the courage to respect others' journeys, even when they're different from our own. Thank you for being here. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can continue exploring life's questions together. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next chapter.